other people, over 100 in the meantime. And this is all replicable. And what's going to happen is it will be replicated, because those very same people who testified before our Corona Investigative Committee can just as well testify before the courts of law, and they will.
I've got a question in the comments asking, so where is this all going to happen? But I think you've kind of suggested that it's happening globally. It's not going to happen in one place.
Yeah, it's happening globally, but in the end, it may very well turn out that we're going to have a special court, because maybe, and there's a lot pointing in that direction, maybe the national courts will not really be able to deal with this, because this is on such a magnitude, it's so big that it is very possible that we're going to eventually need to have something like Nuremberg 2.
Okay, so Reyner, I mean, okay, it keeps coming up, right? So you say they. Who is they, and who are the culprits, or some of them at least?
What we're dealing with is probably 0.00000 something 1% of the population trying to gain control over the rest of the world. This is not about money, because this group of people, maybe 3,000, this group of people, they're the super rich. They have, in terms of financial assistance, they have much more than they need. They're not going to need to buy a 10th or a 3rd yacht or the 20th Maserati or whatever. So this is not really about money. It is about money, because they're using money in order to bribe people in the hospitals, the doctors, politicians. They're also using all kinds of psychological techniques in order to manipulate people, or they threaten people. Many politicians, some of them may be threatened, some of them may be getting bribed. But it's not really about money. They're using money as a tool. So what we think is, you have to keep in mind that the very same people, a part of which we now call the Davos clique, you know, the self-appointed political elite and the self-appointed corporate elite, that is part of the people who we're dealing with. And those are the ones who are responsible for the financial crisis some 10 or 12 years ago. Had we been a little more careful, had we looked a little closer, we would have known that for 30 years, this group of people has been stealing the taxpayers' money all over the world. There are a couple of examples in Germany, for example, which make it very, very clear, but I'm going to spare you this. We should have been a lot more careful. And we think in the first financial crisis would have been the perfect chance for us to catch on to what's going on. They managed to tell us that they have everything under control. They didn't, but they started to print money in order to keep us quiet. We should have known that you cannot print money in order to restore what they have stolen. It doesn't make any sense. Well, this time around, in late 2019, I believe, when things were again coming to a head and things were again about to implode, they came up with Corona as a diversionary tactic. And we have to keep in mind, however, we're not dealing with a monolithic wall on the other side. There's lots of infighting. There's contradicting interests, and that's another one of our chances that we have.
Catherine Austin Fitz, I think you might know her. She was on my podcast about a month ago, and she said that in 2019, I think it was in August, at a G7 conference, a bunch of central bankers agreed on basically the going direct reset, which is actually what this is all about. It's changing the global economy.